Thank you all so much for being here with us. This is so special, truly one of the best films of the year. I have so much love for it, and I think it's clear that this audience does too. I want to start off, you mentioned this was a movie essentially 25 years in the making. So tell us a little bit about how it got its genesis and what that journey was like. As someone who was originally a lefty and converted by my school, I feel seen by it. But I'm so glad it finally made it to the screen, and I'd love to know a little bit more about that process. Yeah.
Well, the idea actually stemming from what my grandfather told me when I was in high school. He saw me use a knife with my left hand, and he told me that's the devil's hand, and you should never use that. So, at the time, I already got corrected a long time. I think I got corrected probably in kindergarten, that my mom didn't even know. So when I heard what my grandfather told me, I was really puzzled, and I was like, it's such a shame. Like, I didn't know what I did wrong. So I always remember what he told me. So after I graduated from college in Taiwan, I came to New York for my master's degree in New School in media studies. So I met Sean Baker in editing class, and we bonded through liking the same type of movies. So we watched almost all the Doc 95 films together, and we were liking all the Asian cinemas. And I told him about what my grandfather told me, and he thought, wow, that's such a weird things that I never heard about, and we should try to make it into a film. So that's actually the very first idea that we wanted to make into a film together before Takeout. So in 2001, we went to Taiwan, and I wanted to show him Taiwan because he never been to Taiwan before. So we went to night market. We went to see Beat on our stand. I want to show him all the Taiwanese elements. So we trying to find a story there. But at the time, it was just so hard because it's a big story with so many characters and so many locations. And we knew we couldn't find funding at the time. So we went back to New York. Instead, we made Takeout together in 2003. And that film took us, I think we spent $3,000, and was just two of us with our actor, Charles Jam. And it was it's a very special film because we kind of developed this research process, how to get into the community, how to work in real locations, how to do the street casting, how to kind of get into the community and put their story into our script. So that was a very first learning experience for us. But unfortunately, we couldn't find money at the time. After we made Takeout and we finally brought it into the theater in 2008, we thought, well, maybe we can do it right now. So we went back to Taiwan again in 2010. And at the time, we spent 1 month there in just writing a script together, and we wrote it in English. I was telling him stories, and he typed it in English. And we also went to all the night markets in Taipei. There were probably 20 night markets. We visit all of them one by one. And not in this Tonghua night market we shot in the film, we actually found this little girl just looked just like Yi Jing in the film. She was so cute. She was running around by herself. So we were very curious. We followed her and back to her mother's noodle stand. So we were so excited because that's almost like a photo type character. We thought it's just our story, but it really exists in real life. So that's why we kept that location. We also filmed the first trailer with her and went to a different market trying to get funding, but we couldn't get funding at the time because there wasn't a time for Asian cinema. Also, people didn't like to watch any films with subtitles. And not until after we made Red Rocket 2021, we went back to Cannes in main competition, and we met with the French distributor, La Pac, and they really liked the script. So they said, if you can get a Taiwanese funding, then we'll help you make the film. So that's how we made the film, finally.
Shih-Ching covered it. and did you notice Shih-Ching is using her left hand to hold that mic? But no, it's been an incredible journey, a very long one. But I think it was that original idea when Shih-Ching told me about her, about what happened with her grandfather and being told that her left hand is her devil hand. We immediately thought, how would a 6-year-old interpret that? It might take it literally, and there is a story there. We can fictionalize this and have fun with it. And then when we went to Taiwan in 2001, Shih-Ching showed me the beautiful country of Taiwan and the incredible city of Taipei, and I fell immediately in love because it's such a cinematic environment. And then going to those night markets, the night markets were overwhelming. And they are overwhelming if you've been there. And I think we immediately thought, okay, we can make the night market a character, and that was a goal from the very beginning. And also to have the audience feel like they were living in that night market and feeling the chaos, the beautiful chaos of those night markets. That was like one of the main goals of this movie.
It's a great Taipei film and a great night film and great nocturne and so visually distinctive. That look of the iPhone suits the night markets so perfectly, these kind of fluid movements and this high contrast, high saturation. I'm curious about your creative relationship and how you arrive at something like that together, the look of the film and the world.
Well, I thought, because it's about a little girl, and I really want to show that world through Yi-Jing's eyes. So from the very first frame of the film, you can see the collapsible image, and that actually inspired by one of my daughter's toys. One day I saw this toy on the table, so I just picked it up, and I thought, oh my God, it looks so interesting, it's so beautiful. So I thought maybe we should put it on the screen. So that was the first first image I wanted to show, kind of lead the audience into the story through her eyes. And in the night market, we also, we shot it on her level. So the audience have this very immersive kind of feeling going to a night market. So I want the audience to feel a night market through her eyes. So it's extra colorful, and all the noises, all the music, all the different Taiwanese elements. So it's very vibrant and very immersive.
Nina, I think you know how amazing you are in this movie. You heard this crowd. When did you find out you were going to be in this movie, and what was it like to make it? What did you know about it before you started?
I remember my mom told me the script and reading a story, and my mom told me about what is Yi-Jing's like, and where does she live, and she have a mom and she have a sister, and what's your question?
Fair enough. It was a confusing question. Just what was it like to be on set and to make this movie and to, work with all these wonderful people?
I think working with my mom, Shih-Yuan, and director Shih-Ching, and my sister Shih-Yuan, it's very wonderful, and they're so nice. Yeah, and working with them is very wonderful, and it's so comfortable. Yeah.
What's it like acting with a mongoose?
What?
What's it like acting with a mongoose? Or meerkat,
Oh,
sorry,
meerkat.
Pardon me.
It's the first time I meet the meerkat. I think it's hey, this is so cute, and a little bit afraid, who are you? And then when my second time to meet the meerkat is on set, and I think it's I really have to hug him, like, because I afraid it scratched me. And a funny thing is, his owner said, "Oh, he's very nice. He won't scratch." And then at the end, he scratched everyone.
He did a great job, though. Shih-Yuan,
But can I add real quick?
Yeah.
The Meerkat has been doing appearances with
Oh.
the casting crew.
How come we didn't get the
well, not
Meerkat
here
tonight?
in Taiwan, because the film opened up on October 31st in Taiwan, and Pepper, the Meerkat, has been coming out.
Wow, doing
Yeah.
press. Shih-Yuan, you bring such emotional rawness to this role. It's a pretty incredible performance to behold, and it's all the more amazing that this is your first film. So how did you come to be cast in the film, and what was the process like for you of working with Shih-Ching?
Hi. Okay, it was totally unexpected, and Shih-Ching found me on the Instagram. Yeah, and at the first time I thought she is a fake account. It makes sense, right? Like, cause she using I think it's not a regular audition process. She just say, DM me and say, "Hello, do you have any interest in making a film?" I said, "What, really?" Yeah, and then like I thought maybe I should be open and just try to maybe just grab a coffee first. Yeah, give it a try. So we went to grab a coffee first. Then I sent the self-tape to her, and surprisingly, I get auditioned, and it's really a great teamwork, I think, on set. So I feel really grateful to be the part of the Left Hand Girl team, because this is my very first time working on a film. But I met a really lovely and supported and trusting team. So, yeah.
How did you tap into this like deep emotion and angst and eventually explosive emotion as someone who hadn't acted before?
For me, I think getting into this character, Yan, is just trying my best to understanding her every little emotions and decisions, like understanding like what she gone through that made her who she is now. And also, Shih-Ching helps me a lot. Like, she let me to experience Ian's real life. Like we went to the betel nut stand and really wrap betel nuts, and we choosing her phone cast together and spend a lot of time with my little sister. It's just like I can't believe I was her. Yeah. So once I connect with that, I think I just let myself be in the present on set and believe in myself.
Please. Sean, if I could just touch on the nature of your collaboration with Shih-Ching again. You've worked together for so long, and Shih-Ching has produced so many of your movies. How did you view your role in this process? And yeah.
Well, as a co-writer and editor, and in no way did I want to influence or even be a part of the directing side of things, because I believe in a director's vision, and to give them space and to really just allow them to bring their own vision to the screen. So I knew forever, I've known for the last 20 years, that Shih-Ching could do this, and it was just about sitting back and watching it happen. quite honestly. And it was a pleasure to edit this film. It was actually, I have to admit, it was a little strange. It was the first time I've been editing for somebody else, and especially something that I co-wrote, to see the decisions that she made. But I was impressed with everything. I was very happy as an editor to get the material that I got from her, because she covered her scenes well and she got incredible performances, and the rhythm was already there, the energy was there. I just had to, figure out how to, keep that rhythm consistent. But it was there, and I'm just so impressed I'm so impressed overall, and I can't wait to see what Shih-Ching does next. Now she is on her directing, she's on the directing path, and I love it. It means it's so heartwarming, and it's been a long journey, but I think everything that Shih-Ching and I have done together over the years has led to this. Everything that Shih-Ching said, all the lessons that we learned from these other movies, were applied to this film, and you can see it, and it just means everything in the world to me.
I want to make sure we have time for questions from the audience. So if you have one, just throw your hand up, and we'll bring a mic to you. I think we have one. So there's someone I see right in the front row. Sorry to make you run all the way down here, but that's the first hand I see in the green here. Oh, and then we can come over here. Sorry, I didn't see.
Okay, it's a question about Taipei. Is it pretty safe? Because there are so many scenes where the kid is just walking around alone in the market. And I feel like that couldn't really happen here in New York. You don't see that.
But in the night market, it's like a big community. Everybody knows each other. So when we first first saw this little girl running around in 2010, when we were in that night market, every other stand knows who this little girl is. So actually, it's almost like the whole night market is watching kids for other, because there are so many parents having kids in the stand. So they all know each other. So they kind of watch the kids for them. So I don't think there's any danger. The people go there every day. It's like a big family together. So it's never feel like danger. So it's just natural that how they run around.
There was someone right here, and then we can, over here, or, sorry.
Hi. As someone who's been to some of these night markets, I was very curious how it was to direct and shoot there, because there's so many moving parts, especially some of these more chaotic ones like Donghua or Shilin, or some of these other my night markets where there's so many people, so many customers, and you would be shooting across multiple days. So sometimes there's less people, sometimes there's more people, the weather and everything. How do you manage such chaos when it came to shooting?
Well, I think the trick is picking the right location, because that stand, the noodle stand, when I went in there, kind of studying the location scout, I knew that stand is perfect because it's not in the center of the night market. Because if you do it in the center stand, there's no way you won't be able to shoot. So we actually picked almost like a side location. So you can still see people walking around, but they don't really see us, So, and on top of that, iPhone is really part of the reason we use iPhone, because we want to hide the camera. We also want to hide the crew. So in the beginning, we have 20 people crew, and then so we will sit on the stand, and everybody will wait across the street. Immediately, everybody knows we are shooting film, because everybody was wearing black T-shirt, and 20 people just standing there. So we can't really shoot the first day. And then I was like, oh my God, we had to deal with this, people just watching, they wouldn't go away. So the second day I say, well, everybody had to you had to dress out like you are going to night market. There's no other way. Nobody wear black T-shirt. everybody had to look like you just like coming to the night market. And we asked everybody, if you don't have anything on set, you don't need to do anything. You need to just go back to the office. And we have, I think eventually we have like 5 to 6 people every day just with our actors. So in the end, like people don't even see us. And I think in the end, some people even come to our noodle stand to order noodle from our actress. So that was really, that was really, really fun for us too.
Other questions? Over there. Sorry, it's a little hard to see, so just pick anybody with their hand up, but yeah.
Hi, this is for Shih-Ching and Sean Baker. I remember earlier you mentioned that, you kind of like put a lot of research into like getting to know the community. And like I'm a student majoring in anthropology and film, and I was just wondering if you're at all inspired by like anthropology or just, like your stories feel really like grounded in authenticity, and so like, just like the research process and creating your stories.
Well, I think we are really, when we first met, we really inspired by Dogma 95, so we watch a lot of that. And, Dogma 95 is a film movement that they want to strip off all the fancy stuff about film. They just want to focus on the story. So no music, no special effect. They just want everything shot on location with available lights, with local sound. So I think that's our approach. And I think since Takeout, we try to apply that to every other films. And especially for Left-Handed Girl, you can see, because we shot in the real night market. So we try to apply that as much as we can. Everything is real locations, and we can't even set us lights. So almost in night market, they are all like variable light in the market.
Yeah, I don't know if it was on our minds going into it. I know that our approach was anthropological. If anyone's staying for the film that's showing next, Takeout, you'll see that we don't like to call. I mean, it is a fiction narrative film, but in many ways it could be considered a hybrid film, because half of it is basically documentary footage. It was us observing, observing the mechanics of not only the mechanics of this Chinese takeout uptown, but also the human behavior and interaction, and that means so much to us. I mean, that's what interests us, human beings and being human. And so, yeah, I think so. Maybe I think I that's been our approach since day one. Yeah.
Other questions? Yeah, over here, very enthusiastic. Hands. Okay, yeah, you got it.
You want to shout? Go for it.
You guys did a great job.
If you could just grab the mic, 'cause we're recording, so this way we'll have you on the
This actually gets me a little more nervous, but for the two actors, I apologize, I don't know your name, the child and the actor sitting next to you. They had such a great emotional read throughout this film, and I just was wondering if you could talk about working with the child actor and bringing that to life. And then for Sean, the language barrier in editing this film, can you just talk about that? Because that always stood out to me as well. Thank you.
And perhaps also writing it in English. Yeah.
But working with Shih-Yuan and Nina, I think I'm so lucky because they are both naturally just great actors. And I had to mention, like when I cast Nina, her mom, she's so wonderful. She helps so much. And she told me, like, you don't have to hire an acting coach because I'm the best one. Because she has, Nina has been acting in commercial for 3 years before I cast her. So her mom has been, coaching her during the process from 3 to 6. So they have their own process. Like she told me, like if she needs to cry, don't worry, I can make her cry. they have their own I process how to make her cry. So it's a very special. They will play like very sad music first. So, she will feel sad, and then they will tell her a sad story like, oh, imagine you have a puppy, and tomorrow you won't see the puppy again. And usually it works the first time. So it's really, I have to thank the mom so much for preparing her every day at home. And when she came to set, she was always ready. And she sometimes she can, put into her own spin, doing her own, like putting her own word and doing different things. And for Shih-Yuan, she's just amazing. When she, as I said, you can just, putting your own life experiences into the role, because we all grew up in a Taiwanese family, so I believe there are so much in common. Like we all have like family drama. We also have like secrets in the family. So, I asked her to prepare at home, putting your own life experiences, and she usually will, she came to set, she have like powerful performance every time.
Yeah, and I was going to say the same thing. Like watching the dailies, you would never know that Shih-Yuan is a first-time actor. You would never know, because I always say that one of the sign of like an experienced actor is giving slight variations with each take, so that it gives the director and the editor choices, and Shih-Yuan did that. And it was absolutely, when Shih-Ching told me, first-time actor, I was absolutely blown away, because normally I can tell, and sometimes there's actually, as an editor, there's manipulation with first-time actors, meaning manipulating a performance, finding a performance through cutting. But I didn't have to do that with Shih-Yuan. I could just hold on long takes of her, which meant so much. And then with Nina, of course, Nina is every time there's a crying scene in the movie, there's about 5 takes of that, and she's crying on cue with each take. It was amazing. And then regarding the language barrier, I've done this a lot now, not just Mandarin, but I've done this with Russian and Armenian, and a lot of my films have lots of languages, and it's essentially, of course, it's all about collaborating with the person who actually knows the language and getting all the dailies subtitled. And the fact that I co-write, I've either written or co-written these films, I know what's being said, and it's really about judging the performance on stuff other than the actual words, but more on inflection and facial expressions, and you can see when one shines over the other, meaning a take. And of course, Shih-Ching gets the ultimate say on whether I've chosen the right take or not. But so that's how I do it.
I think we have time for one more question.
Hi, I really enjoyed the film, so thank you. I have a question about the theme of the movie. So specifically, like this movie touches a lot on like the superstition of left-handedness, or like the Confucius value of having like a son in the family. Also the teenage pregnancy, right? So the idea, it sounds like you guys conceived the idea like 25 years ago. Are you worried that the same theme applied to the Taiwanese society today, now that 25 years has passed? Especially like, we know Taiwan is the first country in Asia to legalize like same-sex marriage, for example. Like, are you worried about that, like if it still rings true to the society today?
See, that's a very interesting question, because so many people told me, like before I made the film, like throughout 10 years, I go home every year to visit my family. So I will talk to friends or people I know about left-handed girl, the left-handedness. And a lot of people told me that does not exist anymore. Like your story is very old. Like you need to make it a period piece. Right? And also a lot of people like, that the favorism towards male does not exist anymore. And you shouldn't make this film because it's not relevant. But I told them, well, it's my story. I'm going to make it. And guess what? When I cast Nina, the first day on set, her mom told me, well, Nina was actually left-handed. She got corrected by her elderly in the family, because they thought when she married, she might get she might get rejected because she's left-handed. So she got corrected when she was little, and when I cast her, she was 6. So we had to retrain her using her left hand. So that just shows like I was so happy when I kept my story the same because it does exist. And also like, you know, the favorism towards male, it happens in my own family. You know, still the same, today the same. And I remember like last week we just released the film in Taiwan, and I think one of the elderly men asked this question. It's like, he asked me like, why do you make this story about male favorism? It does not exist anymore. So I said, well, I'm sorry if you feel offended, but it does exist in my family. And I asked the people, the audience, I said, can you raise your hand if you still feel that exists in your family? And half the people raised their hand. So I asked the man, I said, can you turn around and see how many people still feel the same? So it's not, you know, sometimes like we don't see it in our life. We thought it does not exist anymore. But a lot of times those traditions just got passed down like blindly. So they don't even question it anymore. So I think that's why it's so important for me to make this film. I want people to look into your life. If there are some traditions that are already outdated, you should try to create your own traditions. You know, that's fair to everybody. It doesn't exist. You don't see it. That doesn't mean it does not exist anymore.
Well, I want to remind folks that this film is coming out in theaters November 14th, I think, and hitting Netflix November 28th. So please tell everyone you know about it. As you now know, it really deserves an audience wide and far.